welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight, this afternoon, wherever you are. We're very happy and grateful you are with us. We have a very exciting class tonight. I'm Katie Callahan. I'm Jane Iredale's social and digital media manager, and joined by one of my very favorite people of all time is Amy Mallon, Jane Iredale's director and directory of artistry and education.
And also have the full directory of all of our employees right here.
He does. Yes, exactly. And all of our foundations and everything else. Tonight, our theme for the class is Finding the One. We'll be talking about pure press-based mineral foundation and just kind of answering all of your questions. A lot of people that are joining us have pre-submitted questions. Oh, I like the comment, I have found the one.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that, Stacey.
So we will be talking through, we won't have a sort of traditional demo like we have in previous classes, but we will be going through a score of tips and tricks and lots of good stuff. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to enter them in the chat or in the Q&A box. We'll be getting to all of you. And if you stay to the end, we have a very exciting announcement as well. But without further ado, Amy, would you like to introduce us to Pure Press-based mineral foundation?
Oh my gosh, how could I not? So, I think that the reason for the season, if you will, the reason that we're all here to speak to our Pure Press base is such an exciting topic. This is our number one, not only our number one selling foundation, it's our number one selling product overall. And for those of you who have tried it, you know exactly why. It is a powder mineral foundation that lays so beautifully on the skin. And I have to say, this is one of those products that we consider to be a hero product. Yes. And really put our brand on the map. We know that one of these is sold every 60 seconds. So take that into heart. It's amazing, that statistic. Worldwide, it's recommended by physicians and skincare professionals, as well as makeup artists. It's loved by professionals. And the reason is because it just functions differently. So comes in 26 different shades. It has a semi-matte finish, and it really is the ultimate multitasker. And I'm so excited for today because we're really going to share all of the nuances that make this product so exciting, and also just really speak to its versatility, because there's so many different ways that you can use this product, and always have it on hand in your bag. So I love it. I know Katie loves it.
I do. It was my introduction to the brand, and I can't live without it, honestly. And we're already getting some great questions. Some of them we have planned to answer throughout this, but I think we really need to share maybe a little something special about why we're talking about it. Maybe it's a refillable compact.
So yes, if you don't know, Pure Pressed has gotten a new home. Yes. And we are so excited about this. It really speaks to our sustainability messaging, and also what you can expect from the rest of the line. But I want to first talk about this box. So you might not think this is something that interesting, right? This is the box that the compact comes in. But I have to tell you, and Katie's so immersed in this world, but we spend a lot of time talking about influencers and unboxing experiences, and I'm sure that you all see them all over Instagram and social media, and we really wanted you to have that experience at home. So we created this beautiful, luxurious box that really just speaks to the product itself. It has a great personalized message from Jane, and then underneath you have this great QR code that links to some really interesting information about the product. But we know that Pure Press Base is one of those products that's being mentioned all the time in different publications, online, through influencers, editors. People really love this product. So we wanted to give everyone that wonderful experience. So if you look at the actual compact itself, this is very reflective of what you might see from the brand in the future, wink, wink. But for those of you who don't know, we've been going through a huge transition, right? All of our packaging is kind of morphing into this nice matte white look. By the way, I have a manicure that matches.
No, I didn't do my nails. They're bare. Don't judge me.
um, so what I love about this is that for those of you who don't know, we are the skincare makeup. And this is one of those quintessential skincare products. And this compact is really giving this product the home that it deserves, speaking to, you know, what you would want to find from a skincare product. So giving it that gorgeous house. And what I love about it as well is that, first of all, you have this great huge mirror. Look, there's
Full
Katie.
sight. It covers the full. Oh, there you are. Yes, there's my ring light. There we are.
Huge mirror. The
Yes.
interior of this is actually made from PCR, which not the
Mhm.
COVID test. It's actually post-consumer resin or a non-virgin plastic. And then the exterior is made from aluminum. So it's very weighty. It's very luxurious feeling. It certainly has that nice purse presence to it as well.
Yes.
And then if you look at the back, you can see this nice little hole. And what that's for is because you can actually pop out the product itself
Mhm.
and replace it when you run out. So again, a refillable compact that just feels and looks fantastic. So
And I'll show
very
you. I'll
exciting.
pop mine out here so you can see it just pops in and out. So when you're done, you pop it out like that, and then you put your new refill in. And if you're a long-term PurePress base user, you've probably noticed this refill got a new design. We have Jane's. I don't know if you can pick that up,
There
but
we
it's
go. I
got
think you
Jane's
can
little
see it on
signature
mine.
in there, which I think is so cute. And to address one of the biggest questions we've gotten on email, social, and in this class so far, has the foundation formula changed? And no, it hasn't, but Amy, you are the best person to ask about that. Why wouldn't we change the formula?
No, no, this formula has not changed. It's stayed consistent. But we did, as Katie mentioned, incorporate this beautiful embossment of Jane's signature. It formerly used to have a J on it. So this is a new, fun, updated look. You can also find on our Hydra Pure glosses as well. So just kind of reflected in little areas
Exactly.
of the line. But to speak to the actual product, no, as I mentioned, you know, our #1 seller, we didn't want to mess with that hero product. So there's nothing better than PurePress base. And so the formula is exactly the same.
Exactly, which is so important. And I hope everybody, hears that and takes that to heart. Great. And Joanna, great question. I was just about to transition to this. Another question we've gotten quite frequently is, will this fit any other refills? So bronzers and anything like that. Is there a size difference with the new compact?
Great question. No. So first of all, if you do have your existing refill, it will fit in here as well. So you don't have to have the new updated with Jane's DeBoss signature. You can use either for the time being. And yes, all of our bronzers, our shimmer bronzers, as well as the mattes, both fit inside this compact, which is great.
Exactly. Excellent. All right. So I guess we can pop into some of our questions here. Let's see. So I know we were initially talking about, before we joined, about how to prep the skin. So we've got our beautiful primers and hydration sprays and things like that. So maybe you can speak a little bit to how best to prep your skin in order to use PurePress base.
Absolutely. So for those of you who don't know me, I am an oncology certified esthetician. And so being an esthetician, skin prep is obviously very important to me. So the great thing about this product is that you can apply it directly over anything. So if you've just had a facial service or you've had a procedure, assuming that it's non-ablative and non-invasive, you can actually apply this product right on top. But for regular home use, you would want to go through your regular skincare regimen. So apply, first of all, cleanse your skin, right? We have our fabulous Magic Mitt if you haven't tried it. It's a microfiber cloth that just needs warm water. That's kind of like the best cleansing agent, I think, of all time. And then afterward, you would apply your serums, your moisturizer. I would absolutely recommend our Beauty Prep products. They are fantastic.
Wonderful.
And then afterward, you would go into applying your Smooth Affair primer. Which one do you have, Katie?
I am wearing Illuminating Glow today. And because I knew I'd be on camera, I wanted a little bit of, glitz and glam. And you can see I'm already kind of starting to run out on this, but I love this stuff.
I have the brightening primer. So I have the original, which is our number 2 selling product, just so you guys know. But people always ask me, oh, thank you so much, Shifra. She says, I'm an esthetician and skincare specialist and refer my clients to Jane's Makeup. Absolutely. We hear that all the time. I'm so happy to hear that from you.
And Shifra comes to all of our classes.
Oh, thanks for joining us. I'll have to meet you one day, Shifra.
Yes.
So back to primer. So why do we need a primer? I get asked this question all the time. Well, I want you to think about, painting a house or your nails, for example, right? We always apply that base coat first. That's essentially what a primer is. It bridges the gap between skincare and makeup.
Right.
And ours in particular, I have to say, are such beautiful formulas. They are chocked full of nutrients, of beautiful botanicals. They smell, well, I have brightening. It smells heavenly of citrus extracts.
Exactly.
Illuminating Glow is unscented if you prefer that.
Yes.
But they really do give you that perfect canvas. So they fill in any fine lines, any larger pores. They give the makeup something to adhere to, and they help it to last all day as well. So it just really gives a better experience with the makeup application. And in fact, I don't know if you guys know this, but we as a brand have something that we call our skincare makeup system. How many of you have heard of this before?
Well, I have, but it feels a little bit like cheating.
Katie knows where it's at. And we'll go over this as we kind of talk through the products, but the first step is always going to be primer. So you always want to prime, foundation, and then hydration spray, which we'll talk about why that is in just a moment here.
Yes, exactly. Awesome. Well, I love that. I love that we were able to kind of address the skin first before we talk about makeup. We did get some questions specifically about aging skin and if this product will set into fine lines and wrinkles. So we could talk about that now or in a little bit if you want to address kind of general application. Up to you.
Yeah, I love that question. So number one question that we get asked working for, a mineral makeup line is, this is a powder foundation. How does it work with more mature skin? Is it going to fall into lines? Is it going to make me look dry? Is it going to settle? Can I trust this foundation? And I have to tell you, yes, and there's a lot of reasons for this, and it all goes down to the actual formulation itself, or comes down, I should say. This formula, okay, so first of all, the formula is very simple. So think about clean eating. We essentially do that with the products that we make. We are a clean beauty brand because we use just what we need to, and we leave out all of the junk and everything else that we don't need to incorporate. But in the formulation, so we start off with our beautiful mineral blend. So there are actually 5 different minerals that we use for this, and they are such an important part of this formula. And I know Katie loves this discussion, but
I do. I'm excited. I'm waiting.
Minerals are rocks, right? So minerals are actually mined from different areas of the world. And we take or they're grown in a lab, I should say, which a lot of ours are. So we take these minerals and they then go through a process where they are broken down many, many times. So they're actually almost pulverized to a point where they look almost like a cream, and they're all broken down together. So you get this really nice, smooth effect on skin. This makes a huge difference. Particle size really matters. Ours are considered micronized and non-nano. So they lay smoothly on skin and they're undetectable, but they're not dangerous at all for inhalation purposes, or, they're not seeping through skin or anything like that.
Such a good point to make.
Yes. And there are very specific minerals that we use. So 2 of them are zinc and titanium dioxide. And we use these for a couple of different reasons. So first of all, they're the only 2 ingredients listed by the FDA as physical sun protective agents. So they're the reason that we have a physical sun protection of 15 to 20, which is also important because this is a reef-safe formula. So
Yeah,
because we don't have any chemicals, we're not negatively affecting the world's coral reefs.
exactly.
In addition to that, we also use these two ingredients because they're so calming and soothing to the skin.
Right.
So I always tell people, look at your baby's diaper. I have 2 little babies. So look at your baby's diaper cream and what is it made out of? Well, chances are it's zinc oxide. And that's because zinc oxide is one of the best calmers and soothers out there. And that's what makes this product so beneficial for every skin type, but in particular, red, inflamed skin, post-procedure, acne. There are all kinds of different skins you can use this on. As well, though, we also have a lot of antioxidants that we use. So we use pomegranate extract to help with UV protection, and also, to assist with any free radical damage to the skin. Pine bark extract, which helps with texture and tone. But my favorite ingredient in the formula is algae extract.
Oh,
and I'm sure, Katie, you're like, this is a very long answer to my very simple question.
I'm like a sponge. I want it all.
But algae extract has really beautiful hydrating and soothing properties to it. So when you think about a powder foundation, this is actually a hydrating, soothing, anti-inflammatory powder foundation. So it's really going to be beneficial to the skin and all skin types. We also use a mineral called boron nitride, which has a nice glowy property to it. So it's going to just lay gorgeously on the skin and look beautiful no matter your skin type or skin condition.
I love it. I love it. We're getting some great questions coming in. I did want to send through the Jane Iredale store and partner locator. If you've never tried the product, you want to get shade matched in person, you can click through this link, or you can always shop on our website as well.
Yes,
But
please
just
go see any of our fabulous skincare professionals. They would be happy to
exactly.
shade match you in person.
Yes, exactly. But some sort of similar questions here, a little bit more on the prep side, one of which I know we get all the time. So Suzanne, yes, there is an SPF in here, like Amy was just saying, but she asks, do I still need to use a sunscreen with it? Or do I need to reapply throughout the day?
So it's really up to you. The great thing about this sun protection is that it's water resistant up to 40 minutes. So what that means is if you fully submerge your skin in water, your makeup isn't going to go anywhere. And in fact, you're going to get that great protection. This is also a product that's recommended by the Skin Cancer Foundation for daily use for its SPF properties. Now, with that said, I like to put it on top of an SPF. However, you're only getting as much protection as that last layer that you apply. Right. So if that's, this product, then you're really getting that great SPF 15 or 20.
Love it. Exactly right. And in terms of reapplying, would you, and you mentioned the purse factor with the compact. I think this is great on the go as well.
This is a great on the go product. Fits so nicely in your hand and in your bag. And then we have a couple of options too for application on the go. So one of my favorite tools for touch-ups is our Flocked sponge. It's very inexpensive. It picks up just the right amount of product so that you can actually just, by the way, I want to note that I'm applying this under my eyes, guys. That's because it is such a lovely hydrating powder. You don't have to worry about it looking dry.
Exactly. I know, it just kind of takes the shine down or anything else if you need it. I guess perfect. Oh, Rudina, great question. So I was just about to transition to this. I feel like we're all kind of on the same wavelength today. So we did get a lot of questions about shade matching and how to find the right shade. So let's say you can't get to a retailer, you have to do online. What are your best tips and tricks for that?
Well, so first of all, we have a couple of really great options internally. We have a fabulous team that has created our incredible foundation finder. So if you go to our website, you can actually access this there, and it walks you through choosing your undertone and then also helping to find the right shade for you. It's remarkably effective. and pretty darn accurate. In addition to that, if you call into our phone number, you can speak with one of our beauty advisors who can also help with shade matching you as well. Or as Katie mentioned, head out, see one of our retailers. They would be happy to assist. But if you feel like you want to be a little bit more brave and try it out on your own, we have a lot of good resources available to you as well on our website, something we call our speed match chart, which actually lays out your shade based on your skin depth, and then also if you're warm, neutral, or cool. Now, this is a question that we get all the time, and I don't want to go too in depth because this is a class all in itself. But if you're not sure what your undertone is, first of all, I want to make note that the majority of the global population has warm undertones, right, meaning that if you look at them, they look kind of yellow or gold. You have more of a warm property to your skin. Only 3% of the global population has cool undertones, meaning if you look at them, yeah, exactly. They look like they have a lot of redness, or they kind of have like a mauve or blue undertone. This can get a little confusing because sometimes surface tones will get in the way. So if you have a lot of redness on your skin, or acne, or hyperpigmentation, for example, these can all kind of throw things off a little bit. And in that case, you're going to do a little color correction. But I will tell you, in most cases, neutral is a really good solution. So if you look at your skin and you say, I don't know, it doesn't look yellow, it doesn't look pink to me, it looks kind of peachy or somewhere in the middle, or if you're deeper complected, maybe you have that nice tan olive effect, that would place you in the neutral category. So if warm and cool had a baby, it would be neutral. Katie actually and myself are both in the neutral category. So if you need a good frame of reference in the fair department, we would be a great gauge of that.
Exactly. And you just mentioned olive specifically, but Sarah asked, are there any super quick tips you have for olive skin tones? So if you're olive, would you say you're generally more neutral?
In most cases, yes. However, olive can definitely span into the warm department as well. So if your olive undertone has a little bit more yellow to it, or it has a little bit more tan, right? If you have kind of that like pinky tan look, then you may be more in the neutral category. And the great news is, guys, minerals are so forgiving, specifically powder minerals are very, very forgiving. So knowing that, it's really hard to go wrong with a shade patch.
Excellent. I'm also going to send through a blog post we wrote on undertones if anyone wants to read that after this as well. There's some great information there. We've had some success from people on the foundation finder. Very happy to hear that as well. But we'll pop into some of our other questions here. So we got a fair bit of questions on how to build up coverage with Pure Press. So how to make it look full coverage, and then how to conceal as well, using it as a concealer.
So let's start from the beginning. Let's start with kind of like our preferred application technique. So we talked about the flock sponge, and I'm going to revisit this in a second. But if you don't have access to it, the handy brush is our #1 go-to for this product.
Love this brush.
Oh, it's so good. It's a flat top kabuki. It's very dense. And the reason for that is so that it can pick up enough product. So I'm just running it over the compact, and I want you guys to see, do you see how much powder is on here?
Look at that.
A lot of product, and it lays a lot of product down. So a little bit goes a very, very long way. And you would use this in a downward motion on the skin. Now, no one's going to come arrest you or be upset with you if you don't apply this correctly. But the reason that we suggest downward is because we all have this vellus hair on our skin. And that hair can really pick up powder and tends to kind of look a little muddy if you apply it in an upward direction. So you always want to go down. We also don't really recommend any buffing. The reason being that buffing can make the minerals a little bit more shiny on skin because, again, minerals are essentially rocks. So you're polishing those rocks, right? So anyway, this is a great way to get product on skin, and you can really start small and kind of build from there. You can also use this product as a concealer. So the way I recommend doing that is just taking any eyeshadow brush. You can also use the flocked sponge for this as well, but picking up on a little bit of product and then literally just tapping it onto any blemish, and that will make that blemish disappear.
And which brush was that, did you say?
This is the Deluxe Sheer brush.
Oh, nice. That's
Just
such a
any
good
smaller eyeshadow brush is
Yeah.
very effective for this. So
And would you apply that, you said after you use Pure Pressed all over, and that's to spot treat and use
exactly, yes,
Right.
precisely. Mhm.
Love that.
Now, we also mentioned the flock sponge. So you can use this as a nice, like, gentle touch-up product or for concealing. Or if you're someone who likes that super heavy newscastery look, or you have something, you know, that you really want to conceal, like a port wine stain or a tattoo even, you would pick up the product on the sponge and do what we like to call a press and roll technique.
Right.
So we actually press and roll the product into the skin to build up on that coverage.
And would you apply multiple layers when you're doing that? So you do one and then another pass, or is one enough?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, you would keep going over it until you achieve the right amount of coverage. So the great thing about this product is you can actually get a sheer to a full coverage out of it, just depending on how much you apply.
Exactly. Love that. Oh, so we sort of answered this question about using a concealer first or after, but in particular, would you recommend using concealer at the nasal area and under eye first and then putting Pure Pressed on, or what's your sort of go-to?
That's a great question. So typically with traditional cosmetics, you would conceal before foundation. With our line, you actually apply foundation first. And there are a couple of different reasons for this. The first being that our foundation has such great coverage, chances are you're not going to need a lot of concealing, but also just texture-wise, it works a lot better. So we recommend kind of doing the opposite. And then the last portion, I know we haven't talked about this yet, but for those of you who recall, we talked about our skincare makeup system, formerly known as the Power of Three. And the last step in that system is hydration spray. So our hydration sprays are incredible. If you haven't tried them, they're made with distilled water. They actually are EcoCert certified for being natural and organic because of the amount of sustainable farming that we do, the amount of natural ingredients that you'll find in these formulas. But the reason why they're so fantastic is because minerals love hydration. So what that means is that the longer you wear a mineral makeup, the better it's going to look on your skin. Unlike a traditional cosmetic, it warms up to the natural oils in your skin and it looks like your skin, but better, right? If you've tried minerals, you've experienced this.
Yes.
The hydration sprays, not only do they help to expedite that process, so they help the minerals to look even better on your skin, they also lock those minerals in place and help them to not move throughout the day. They hydrate your skin and they also refresh your minerals. So halfway through the day, if you're like, oh my goodness, my skin is feeling like it needs a little bit of a refresher, hydration spray is a great go-to. I always have one at my desk, one in my bag, one at my parents' house, one in my car, because you never want to leave home without one of these little babies. Now we all have our preference. Katie, I saw that you had yours.
Yes, indeed. Well, I have another favorite that we no longer carry, but Palm Mist is my next favorite.
Yes, so Palm Mist is definitely the top seller. I'm a big fan of our newest of the bunch, which is our Calming Lavender Hydration Spray.
Very
if you
calming.
want kind of that spa-like experience while you're putting on your makeup. And people always ask this question. So if you are a novice hydration spray user, there's a couple things to know here as far as tips. So first of all, you don't want to point the nozzle directly at your face at this close of a proximity. So I always recommend giving it a good foot between you and the spray. And then rather than spraying it directly like this, I would recommend creating a halo of mist around your face and allowing it to fall. And it makes you feel like the world is going to be a better place.
It does a little bit, doesn't it? It's just a very nice sort of like self-care Zen moment.
It is. It is.
Awesome.
My happy place.
Just a quick note for anybody who is having trouble with the foundation finder. You'll need to click shade when you go to that link, and then click the foundation in question. And Regina asked, are any of the hydration sprays scent-free?
So we don't have any scent-free hydration sprays. We have 4 in our collection. So we have the Calming Lavender. We have, which is more meant for any dry, red, or irritated skin. It's very cooling and calming and soothing. We also have Palm Mist, as Katie showed. Palm Mist is the #1 seller. It is great for anyone who has any environmental issues. If you have like age spots or hyperpigmentation, or you just generally want extra antioxidant protection, that's a great go-to. A lot of people actually use that in their hair as well to help with any hair color.
It's great after you go to a restaurant or something and you have this in your bag and you want to feel fresh. I do that sometimes.
Yeah,
just a little trick.
Freshen yourself up in the with your hydration spray.
Exactly.
We also have Balance. So Balance is actually meant specifically for oily skin. It has some citrus-derived ingredients that actually not only assist with brightening, but help to calm down on oil production. It smells wonderful. And then we also have D2O. D2O has ylang ylang extract. I would say if you're looking for a hydration spray that's the least scented, that's the direction I would probably go. But it's the most hydrating of the bunch. It also has some chamomile, just really calming the skin and providing some additional hydration.
Exactly. And I do want to jump back to shade matching quickly. We did get a few questions on this, and I saw another one. I lost the comment specifically, but how do you address shades and maybe routines in general based on season? So let's say if you're fairer, or you are darker in warmer months, how best would you address that?
I love that. So let's start first by talking about formulation, and then we can talk about shades. So from a formulation standpoint, this is a product that really pairs well with anything and also can be worn on its own. But if you are pairing it with one of our liquid foundations, for example, for some extra SPF protection, I would really recommend moving to a more glowy, dewy, hydrated foundation to use under this. So if you, for example, love Beyond Matte in the summertime, you may want, or Dream Tint, you may want to move into BB cream or liquid minerals and then apply this directly on top.
Great.
If you're using it by itself, you might want to switch up your hydration spray. So going from Balance, for example, to Calming Lavender for a little bit more hydration. Now, as far as shades go, as I mentioned earlier, not uncommon for people to be able to wear multiple shades. In fact, it's pretty common. However, I will say that most people do bump up a shade during the summer months, just depending on how much sun exposure you're getting. I, for example, move from ivory to bisque during times when I'm getting more sun exposure. So the great thing though about our new compact and our old one, frankly, is that they are refillable. So you can actually just pop this out, save that pure press for a time, when it is your shade, and kind of go back and forth between the two.
Exactly. Very low waste. I love that answer. I think there was a shade specific question. And just to say, if we have accidentally overlooked one of your questions, you can email us, reach out to us on social media. We are here for you. But let me see here. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you. So we did speak to coverage levels and building up and covering under eye circles and blemishes, things like that. Would you recommend Pure Press Base for people who have rosacea, maybe cystic acne or hormonal acne? What's your go-to there?
Absolutely. So first of all, this gives a semi-matte finish, but it has a glowy semi-matte finish. So what that means is that, it's not going to cling to, any acne, any dry skin. And in fact, as I spoke to the ingredients earlier, we have some really beautiful cooling, calming, soothing, anti-inflammatory agents in here, like zinc, titanium dioxide, algae, that are all going to be really beneficial for areas of rosacea or acne. In fact, I think one of the most exciting things about working for this company is all of the stories that we get from people like you who just switch from using their traditional cosmetics to our products, and their skin gets dramatically better. And again, it's because it's a cleaner product. So we're not using things like talc or parabens or phthalates or things that could cause issue. We also extensively test our products. That's something that we're really proud of. So for example, we test for comedogenicity. So we test to make sure it's not going to clog pores. We test for sensitivity issues to make sure that, it's not going to be irritating to the skin. It's clinically dermatologist tested. We test for photosensitivity to see how it interacts with UV light and that there isn't any issue there. We test for heavy metals. So, really, really exciting. And it's something I don't think that we boast about enough is, not only that we're giving you a safe product, but also that this product is really going to be so beneficial to all skin types and skin conditions.
Exactly. I feel like I get more compliments on my skin now versus when people say your makeup looks so good. It's always nice when somebody's like, your skin looks great. So we got a couple more questions in here. A few of these people are getting ahead of me. So I would love to speak to product combinations. So there are a few questions here about which primers to use. So would love to address that, but I'm also curious your recommendations on, and you've mentioned a few a little bit on what to put underneath Pure Pressed, or maybe, is it Beyond Matte? Is it liquid minerals? So maybe if you can speak to which primer to use based on your skin type or whatever your general advice
love
is.
that question. So we already kind of spoke to the different skin types for our hydration sprays, right? The primers are really going to echo that. So we have 3 of them. For those of you who don't know, we'll start with Smooth Affair Brightening. So again, one Smooth Affair Brightening primer, by the way, guys, is sold every 4 minutes. It's a crazy product. We sell so much of it. And that's because it has this beautiful, lightly hydrating, brightening property to it because of the ingredients that it has. So we have things like grapefruit extract. We have apple extract that's going to assist with cell turnover, aloe. So all of these are really going to be nutritive and also really soothing to the skin. If you're looking for just general brightening, I would go with Smooth Affair Brightening Primer. And if you're someone who wants some additional hydration, that would be my go-to. Smooth Affair Illuminating Glow. So this one is actually beneficial for all skin types, believe it or not. If you have oily skin, you can benefit from this primer. If you have more dry skin, it's really great for you. It's really about the finish. So if you want to look more luminous, dewy, Smooth Affair Illuminating Glow actually has little tiny particles of mica in it that give just a beautiful radiance to the skin. So it gives more of that pearlized, glowy look, especially when you pair it with any of our foundations. And then Smooth Affair for oily skin is exactly what it sounds like. So it has more mattification properties to it. It's really meant to help control oil production. We have pore away technology in here, which is going to assist with the appearance of pores over time. So really great product for those of you who have a lot of oil production issues.
Love that. Hopefully that helps those who had questions on that specifically. I actually use all 3 depending on, my skin that day, the weather, how I want the finish to be. I find in the winter months, I've been reaching more for Illuminating Glow because there's so much hydration in there.
Okay, I'm just so excited. I feel like we need to read this comment from Evelyn. Did you
Sure.
I'm so excited. Evelyn says, my face was done by one of your retailers for a major event. When I entered the room, I kept hearing the word gorgeous. Evelyn,
Oh,
we are so happy to hear that. And that's why we do what we do, is because honestly, it's really life-changing to hear about how our products make an impact for people.
truly, truly. I love it. Thank you for sharing that, Evelyn. So we are getting a couple more questions in here. We can jump back to the product combos in a second,
Yes.
because I know we've gotten a few things about that. So Pat wants to know, and this is again kind of more related to shade matching, which we do have a lot of things in the work for shade matching, and there's a lot on our blog, on our social and email, so it's something we know that's very important to people. But so let's say maybe you're paler, and depending on your undertone, would you suggest using a warmer or a slightly darker product, not a full tan color, to enhance your appearance? Would you use Pure Press for that? Would you use a bronzer? What say you?
I think you certainly can. I mean, all of the above are great options, but what I would say is that no matter what you choose, you want to make sure that you're not just applying it directly to your face. You want to get your face, your neck, your décolleté in some cases. I love our Dream Tint in Warm Bronze for this. It's absolutely beautiful. It's kind of like that preliminary, really sheer, lightweight bronzer before you apply anything else on top of it. Our bronzers are fantastic if you haven't tried them. We have both matte and shimmer bronzers that can also add some color to the skin. I gotta say, I mean, I have one here at my desk. It's in the old compact, sorry guys, but go-to bronzer. I always have this near me because I, of course, fall more into that fair category, and this really helps to warm up the skin. We also make bronzers that are great for any skin tone.
Yes, perfect. That's actually a great transition kind of back to our combo question. But before we get to that, we did get a few questions, and one was just submitted about applications specifically. So would you suggest wearing a cream product, so maybe our glow time stick over this, and or how would you apply the bronzer? Like, would you do a shape of a 3? I know that's a lot of kind of questions in one, but I'm dying to know.
I love this question, and I got to say, guys, stay tuned for future classes, because this is something that we will definitely cover in future, is blush placement, bronzer. I mean, these are questions we get all the time. And so hearing you ask these questions is exciting, because it means that we need to bring more education forward around this.
Exactly.
But with a bronzer, it really depends on what you're trying to achieve. So if you're trying to look more sun-kissed, or you're trying to warm up your skin, I would recommend applying in the areas where the sun hits your skin. And in most cases, you said it exactly right, Katie, E's or 3s is a great way to do that. If you're using that bronzer to contour, you're going to place it in areas where you want to recess light. So that's under the cheekbones, under the jawline, around the hairline. And there's a lot more info we can give you on this. But when it comes to powders and creams, also a great question. So the nice thing about our Glow Time sticks is that they're made of a vegan Saracen wax. And because of that, for those of you who aren't familiar with our Glow Time sticks, they are a phenomenal product. I'm trying to find one here that isn't a lab sample.
I know, I didn't bring one over with me. I'm wearing I think I'm wearing Ethereal today. I don't know if that helps, but I am wearing it over my Pure Press base.
I don't want to share anything that I shouldn't. Oh, here we go.
Yes, exactly.
So these are fantastic. They come in 5 flush shades and 3 highlight shades, and they're meant to be used over creams and over powders because of that vegan Saracen wax, which is a vegan alternative to beeswax that has a higher melting point, so it's less likely to break, and it's more glidey over the skin. So you can actually just scrape them right on.
Yeah.
And then blend out either with your fingers or with a brush.
Love that.
And then you could apply a powder blush on top of this, just to lock it in and give yourself a little bit more color.
Yes, which I often like to do because I love a full blush look. Blush is one of my
Well,
fave
guess what? I'm
things.
fully blushy now.
You are fully blush and bashful today. I love that. And thank you for answering about the blush application as well. I think I lost the person's question. I may have answered it too soon, but hopefully that helped. We are getting some additional questions about when would you recommend loose versus pressed powder. A
Love
lot
it.
of the things that come up to me seem like personal preference, but I'd love your take on it as well.
Yeah, so the short of it is really about finish again. So and also application method. So our loose powder comes in a couple of different ways. It either comes in a sifter that you can apply with a brush, or it comes in our refillable brush, which is fantastic. This is a
Love it.
smaller version of our kabuki brush, really lays down the product well. Main difference between this guy and pure pressed is just that pure pressed gives a semi-matte finish that's glowy. This gives a more luminous or dewy finish. So if you find that, you want your skin to have more of a dewy effect, I would go, amazing base. Again, if you want it to look more glowy. And then if you want to have more of a matte effect on skin, I would go pure pressed base. I will say, guys, pure pressed base, #1 seller.
Right.
Amazing base, first product created. So you really can't go wrong with either of these.
Or both.
Or both.
Both. Yeah, again, it depends on the day for me. Sometimes I want to be more matte, sometimes I want to be a little bit more luminous. So I like having both in my product arsenal.
Also, if you want a little bit more coverage and you want to kind of use this as more of a setting powder,
Yeah.
you can put the matte or pure pressed around the nose, and then also, under the eyes, jawline, and then use the glowier powder on the tops of your cheekbones and then down your nose. So there's a
Oh, I
lot of
love
options
that.
here.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Okay, so let's get back to the combos because I know we're starting to run out of time here.
Yes.
I would love to hear your favorite product combinations with Pure Pressed.
Oh my goodness. So I have very dry skin, and I am always trying to look more luminous and keep my skin hydrated. So I love, 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 love pairing Pure Pressed with liquid minerals. It's my favorite combination. I find that it gives me a really nice glow to my skin, but with a foundation that still stays all day.
Yes.
So that's a great pairing. Also, liquid minerals doesn't have an SPF, so this gives you that nice SPF capability. For more matte skin, I love pairing this with our Beyond Matte foundation. If you haven't tried Beyond Matte, I think it's one of the most underutilized foundations in the line. It really is just this beautiful, lightweight, medium to full coverage foundation that gives a semi-matte finish. So it's a great pairing with Pure Pressed. But that will give you quite a bit of coverage. So if you're that person who wants some coverage, I would explore that option. I also love, love, love our BB cream. It's one of my favorites. And the BB cream with this is a great, more of a full coverage look for someone who wants more dewy looking skin.
Yeah.
And then for acneic skin or anyone who has oily skin, I love using Dream Tint even as a primer for this foundation. Ooh. Really nice pairing there.
Yeah, that's a great tip. I've never tried that. I'll have to give that a go. So we got a couple of questions sort of along the lines that you were just saying. So tips for dry skin, which you have dry skin, I have drier skin in the winter. So would you suggest maybe something like Illuminating Glow and then liquid minerals before Pure Pressed?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's like glow in a bottle right there. I love that
glow in a bottle.
combination.
Here for it.
I actually have today. I have on Smooth Affair Brightening with liquid minerals. I typically put liquid minerals on every day because I'm obsessed with the way that it makes my skin look. If you haven't tried it, highly recommend.
Yeah.
Liquid minerals, and then I have some of this on top for additional coverage, and then also just to set everything in place.
That's great. We just got another question about liquid minerals. Do you put it on over Pure Pressed and you would put it on underneath?
Yes. So just like, and I saw somebody ask this question earlier. So here's my little esthetician tip for you. So when it comes to applying your skincare and then also your makeup, you always want to start with lightest and move into heaviest, right? Or move into powders. So what I mean by that is you start with your cleanser, then you apply your serum because it's more fluid, then a moisturizer on top of that. And then, you would move into using your primer and your makeup products. So if you're using your makeup, you want to start with a primer first, then liquid minerals, and then any other foundation of your choice in a powder.
Great. That's easy enough. I can handle that. So our last couple of questions here before we sadly have to depart for the evening. And
Sarah.
I'm having such a great time. So again, a little bit kind of age related. One question we got was specifically about teenage skin and hormonal acne, which we kind of addressed. But would you say that Pure Pressed is good for teen skin or anyone kind of dealing with hormonal issues?
Absolutely. This is the perfect product for that. And the reason is because it doesn't look like you're wearing a ton of makeup. Right. And it also is really beneficial for that acneic, inflamed, oily skin. It also, it doesn't feel like a makeup and it doesn't look like makeup. It just looks like your skin, but better. So I like to think of this as kind of like the perfect gateway. I was going to say gateway drug, but gateway foundation into the brand.
Exactly. I agree with that. And then I love this question as well, because we've sort of touched on, Pure Press works on all skin types, skin tones, ages. But Pat specifically asks, I think this is when we were talking about Amazing Base. Would you say luminosity is less aging than matte in terms of a finish?
That's a great question. I think a true matte is different than what we have in our line. So there's a lot of matte foundations out there that are chalky, that are drying, that, maybe dry down and fall into lines. Even our semi-matte products have a really nice glow to them because of the minerals that we use. So it's really more about, how you want your skin to look.
Right. Exactly. Love that. Let's see. I feel like I had one other question pop up, but I think it may have disappeared. Maybe somebody deleted it. But I did want to say two other things before we go. This replay will be available on YouTube tomorrow, probably by end of day. So if you had to leave or you came in late, no worries. And also if you have made it this far, we have a very exciting giveaway. One very lucky viewer will be entered to win the full skincare makeup system that Amy mentioned.
That's amazing.
Very exciting. So that will include a primer of your choice, a beauty consult so you can get shade matched, a tool of your choice, a hydration spray. So
oh my gosh, Evelyn's so excited.
Yeah, we love Evelyn. We love everybody. I love seeing all the repeat people that come to these. It just makes me so happy. But and again, that will also include the new Refillable Compact, so you can brag about it to your friends.
Get yourself one. That's so exciting, Katie. I can't wait to see who wins.
Yes, I know, me too. So we'll contact you via email to let you know who's won. But Amy, is there anything else you'd like to share about Pure Press before we go?
Not about Pure Press specifically. I feel like we've said everything there's a lot to say about Pure Press. I shouldn't say that. I've actually done a full face just using Pure Press powder. Maybe that's something that we can do for another class at another time. But I just have to give a huge shout out to Katie. If you found us through our social media, thank you so much. Katie does an incredible job with social. You can follow us on Instagram at Jane Iredale. You can follow me at Amy_Jane Iredale. We'd love to take you along with us on our journey. Any other handles you want to throw out there, Katie, while we have?
I'm sharing your handle in our chat, but yes, please follow Amy. She should teach a class on how to take selfies. I'm always trying to emulate her skill there.
I would love to hear from you. Send me your messages. And we'll see you on the next class.
We will. Thank you again, everyone, for your time. And we can't wait to see you soon. Bye, Amy.
Bye, everybody. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.